We talked about how trauma can impact us, how it can trigger us to act out in ways that we don't want to, that it can trigger that part of our brain, that back part of our brain to take over, take control, and we will start to act in ways that maybe against our better judgment, against our values and what we hope to accomplish in the future, against the consequences because of that moment of instant gratification, that moment of instant relief that it's seeking for, to get that breath out of the discomfort, out of the that feeling of being triggered. Now, if it hasn't triggered this in your own mind, the idea here is it's that same principle of the tiny habits just on steroids, not literal steroids, but steroids. That for behaviors to happen, for someone to take action on something, there's got to be a prompt, there's got to be the ability or the capacity to do it, and motivation. Now, in this situation, the motivation is that response, that emotional motivation, that like, hey, let's do this. The capacity or the ability is something that we can do. We can act out. We can relapse, especially when it comes to something that's so available like pornography, that in our hands, in our devices, on our computers, it's there. And so to be able to say that the ability to get there is available, the prompt is the trigger. Something is triggering us so bad that it spikes our motivation and we act out. This same cycle can happen in others as well. Obviously, if it's happening to me, it's happening to you. When we have acted out and we've hurt our family, our partners, our friends, and those around us, this same cycle can be triggered. That people can feel traumatized by our betrayal, by our actions, by our lies and hiding. In that, when we do that, we teach their brains that the trigger of when we're hiding, acting a certain way, being shifty, being down, that triggers in their own brain something's going on. Now, a lot of times when we see partners of those who are addicted, we see some behaviors that are very controlling, very insecure, very overly, well, hyper vigilant, all these trauma words, and they step in because their brains are being triggered to act a certain way, to behave a certain way based on what we're doing. Now, we might be telling the truth now, we might be doing things right now, but it looks and can look very similar to when we were acting out, when we were relapsing. And so our partners, they see something, they hear something, they smell something, they experience something that triggers that part of their brain to be upset, to be angry. The motivation comes up to take action, either against you or more so to protect themselves. Thinking about how you are impacted by the different traumas and triggers and issues in your life, seek that, see how they are also being impacted. Similar system, different situations, different triggers. Have some to be able to have some compassion and empathy for them. That when they get upset and mad and angry with you, that's their own brain kind of reacting in a way against you because you have hurt them. So their brain, their body's going into survival mode of, hey, when I see these cues that someone is going to relapse or has relapsed or is doing something shady or shifty, their body goes into, I need to be safe, I need to be protected. And that could mean I'm going to fight, I'm going to run, I'm just going to freeze up. And if we can understand and see how that's impacting them, we can walk through with them with compassion because we understand it. We can have that empathy and try to connect with them and comfort them and explain with them what's going on. We might need to encourage them to seek out a professional, a therapist, a mentor, either for couples work or for them specifically to be able to work through some of the pain and suffering that we have caused. I know with my own wife that my own things that I've done has hurt her. And when I can think back on the times and think on these times when she gets triggered and think of how the brain works, it allows me to be more patient, more understanding, and compassionate with her. Consider today how some of the things you are doing is triggering that response in your partner, how you have trained your partner's brain to act a certain way, to respond a certain way, and how by changing what you do and changing how you respond to that response, you don't get stuck in the cycle, how you can change to help your partner heal and grow, just like you would like them to change or them to grow so that you can heal and grow.